and I slid in the DMs doing like the surfer guy, like sliding in the DM.
Like that emoji?
Yes.
Julie, I was trying to understand why you were single in your 20s.
Welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Eat.
Welcome back. Cyber Monday.
Why are we recording after dark again?
Josh just had to wait you out. Who is cybering today?
I cybered all weekend.
Remember when cyber sex was a word?
Cyber sex.
Like
well, that's
chat
a throwback.
Sex. That's a throwback.
Half the people on this podcast have no idea.
What is that? I don't get it.
I don't understand. What?
It just meant, I mean, like,
what was cyber
sex?
sex?
Like just
Chat room sex.
Yeah, and like, when could you start video? Like you'd send like a dirty picture. Yeah.
That's
cyber sex is like you'd meet somebody in like a chat room and like take it offline.
It was like sexting before cell phones. I cyber sexted in chat rooms.
65 years old. Okay.
Wow. Do you remember the first days of the internet?
Like, okay, boomers.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp Therapy Online. For 10% off your first month, go to betterhelp.com/GGE. So we all carry around different stressors, big and small, throughout life. And when we keep them bottled up, it can start to affect us really negatively. And therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and figure out how to work through whatever is weighing you down. And sometimes we can have journals and self-talk and friends and family that help us, but it is really, really helpful to talk to a therapist outside of that, and they can empower you to be a better version of yourself and set boundaries and work through whatever is going on with you personally, professionally, in your love life, with friends. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. So you'll just fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists anytime at no additional charge. I absolutely love what they're doing, and they make it so simple. Get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/GGE today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/GGE.
We have a few announcements. We're going to make them quick. Guys,
Ashley said I had to make them quick.
You just drone on about the merch forever. You're like, okay, and then what else can I say? All sales are final. Okay, now let's talk about deadlines. You guys, here, let's talk. Okay, I'll do mine first. Guys, get tickets to our virtual holiday live show on December 13th. Oh my gosh, things are getting nailed down in terms of what to expect.
We stacked a lineup.
Yes, we're pretty much done planning at this point. I'm not going to give anything away.
Ashley doesn't even tell me what's happening.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to open strong. So make sure you're in your seats ready for whenever you hit play. But yeah, this is virtual holiday live show, December 13th. You guys can get tickets at girlsgotteatpodcast.com. Just go to live shows, and we've decided that you will be able to watch the show up until a week after, because we know it's a Sunday, it's a school night for some of you, and that might not be the night that you want to just like get lit and watch the show. Maybe you just don't feel like making a charcuterie board that day, whatever it is. So you can watch it the following week up until end of day, Saturday, December 19th. So you have to buy the show in advance. So make sure you get your ticket, and then you will have a code that you can use for up to a week after. So you can plan for that week. We still recommend you watch it live because you can be involved in the show as it's happening. You can see it as happening. There won't be any spoilers because, we're going to post about it after the show and all that kind of thing. So we recommend it live.
Yeah, you guys are going to see the dress I picked on Instagram story ahead of time. Be surprised by it.
Definitely recommend being surprised, but we have listeners all over the world, all different reasons. So we just want to be able to accommodate those of you for one full week. Yeah. But get those tickets now. At girlsgotteatpodcast.com.
Also, you guys stormed the merch sale on Friday. We have never done so many orders. We're so thrilled. You guys are so excited. I was just saying to Ashley, orders from every corner of the earth, which is so exciting for us, that you guys want this stuff. So we're going to do a Cyber Monday sale, 10% off everything in the store. What should the code be?
Oh my God. We didn't think about that.
Ashley is the code generator.
I didn't think.
Cyber Sex Monday.
Listen, all right. the code cyber sex. I don't care. You put me on the spot. And that's what it is.
Cyber Monday.
Half you bitches don't know what that means. You can put 2 and 2 together. And the code is cyber sex for 69% off. I'm kidding.
I would never let that happen.
You don't even make 69%.
Listen, just to remind you all about how to act. No. All sales
You need to apologize to Rayna.
All sales are final. Just double check your order, size, color. We always do our best to accommodate everything you guys need. If you have questions, we have a contact form on the shopping website. Just email at customer support. We'll get back to you. Don't DM us because we're not going to see it probably.
Yeah.
So just make sure that you're reaching out to customer support. And then holiday deadlines. So for guaranteed delivery by Christmas in the United States, order by December 8th. If you want international shipping, which we ship everywhere, Australia, Canada, the UK, all over Europe, everywhere, Asia. International shipping, December 6th is the deadline. Of course, things can happen with COVID. We're in a COVID world. It's an apparel business. We get a lot of stuff from all over. Things can, of course, be delayed. So try to just order stuff as soon as humanly possible.
Right now.
We do everything that we can to get it to you. Yeah, use the code and get it. Like, be like everybody was smart on Friday and use the code today. Cyber sex, 10% off everything.
Okay. What's first? Queen's Gambit.
It has swept the nation.
Okay, a couple things.
Yeah, go off.
We both watched it in full. This is, if you live under a rock, this is a show on Netflix.
But it is the first time ever Ashley and I have ever watched a show in full at the same time.
Yes. Okay. This is a milestone.
We're doing it for you guys.
Yeah. So Queen's Gambit, show on Netflix. So incredible. Perfect show. I love it so much. I gotta ask you. So 7 episodes, 7 hours of chess. Do you know anything about chess?
No, but did I text every person I know, do you know how to play chess? And every person wrote me back, are you watching the Queen's Gambit? Of course.
Did anyone say yes? They know.
My brother told me that he can play without the board. And I was like, what does that mean? And he was like, I just play in my head. And I was like, fuck you, bro.
Rayna, your brother has been on notice for quite some time, and he just keeps deepening the notice. Okay, let me ask you a couple things.
I have another thing to ask you, too. I'm glad you're asking.
Should we ping pong? Okay, my first question for you is, do you think, because let's be honest, we're going to start to get back into kind of probably a quarantine mode, what it felt like earlier this year. Mm-hmm. Hate to say it, it's going to happen, and it's what should happen given the circumstances. Do you think chess is going to be like the new banana bread
breakout hit of like quarantine?
Our chessboard's going to start going like toilet paper. Like, is everybody going to be doing? Are they puzzles? Are they banana bread? Is chess going to be the fourth quarter pandemic activity?
It's the banana bread. I can't believe that every online chess gaming board had to buy new servers to handle the traffic.
Okay, so I'm right.
Oh, I just made that up. I'm just saying, like, I think that they did. She's like, am I right? If you guys haven't seen Queen's Gambit, by the way, are you living under a rock? It's a fictionalized story about this child prodigy based on a book. You guys love to email and tell us that things are based on books. I know that I'm thinking of anything based on a book. I love you all. But yes, it's about a child prodigy. She's an orphan. She becomes the chess master of the world throughout the show.
Yes. Second thing. Do you think guys that know how to play chess are out here flexing? Like, do you think they've updated their dating app profiles? Like, do you think guys are out here like, hey, baby, I can play chess?
Every man that I asked about this really flexed. One man told me he plays almost every other day of your life, of your life. You play like 180 days a year. No. Yes, I can see people updating their profiles. I feel like this is the new flex because I don't understand chess at all. I barely understand checkers.
Girl, it's funny because that's such an insult. Like, you're more of a checkers kind of girl. You know what I mean? So like they said something, wasn't it one thing in the show? They said like something about Texas and it was like, that's more of a checkers kind of state. Like they said that in the show. So a couple things. I didn't know anything about chess before. It is seems to me a really complicated game. I've looked up some things, I've talked to some people, and I understand a little bit more about like how you can move those pieces. Cause I was like, there's no rhyme or reason. What am I watching? That being said, you do not obviously need to know anything about chess to watch this show at all. And you will fully enjoy it.
And you will learn nothing about
chess. I want to say a couple things about the show.
Okay, I have one question before you give your review.
Okay.
Do you think if we weren't in like a pandemic world, the whole world locked down and like there's nothing to do you think a show about a little girl playing chess would have been as big of a deal as it has become? Because this show has like swept the nation.
I mean, to me, Yeah, like I just think it's an incredible show. Like I think it's like comparable. I mean, during the pandemic, shows have just blown up more because we're just watching more TV. But I think outside of the pandemic, it would have done as well as any other super popular show. I think it's that good.
The acting is phenomenal.
Yeah. So, okay, I want to talk about it. I guess just talking about it will lead to maybe a spoiler here and there. So if you haven't watched it, maybe you skip ahead just a few minutes. I'm not going to deep dive too hard. I just have a few things I wanted to say. So if, again, spoiler alerts, maybe ahead. So skip ahead, whatever. I've said it. I loved it so much on so many deep levels. It is an emotional ride. Like, to me, it's like this story about chess, this story about a really traumatized girl, a story about addiction, a story about a prodigy, like you said, like a genius, like a kind of like a mad woman at some points. But to me, I'm gonna cry. I feel like it is this story about female friendship, and like that the person that saved her was her original friend in the orphanage. And I mean, when the door opened and it was Jolene, I like lost my mind. Like I was like, oh my God, because all those men tried to save her and they all tried to come into her life and like rescue her from herself. And it was like the only person that actually did it was this woman that showed up and was like, I'm here to help you. And then Beth was like, you're my guardian angel. And she was like, I'm not saving you. I'm your family. And like when we had nobody, we had each other. And I just can't like the finale of that show was one of the best hours of TV I've ever watched. I felt like it was the most heartwarming, beautiful display of like love and friendship, and this woman finally feeling supported while she's also winning the biggest matches of her life. And she is able to accomplish this thing that she couldn't before because she had alcohol and drugs involved. And I just like the Russians treated her with so much love and respect. And like, you know, my favorite, not my favorite scene, because again, I think the female friendship there is like the most beautiful thing. And like her and Jolene is like the best part of the show. And the most pivotal thing of was it really able to save her from herself. But like that scene when all the men are like on the phone and they were all together, I like lost it. I was like, they love her so much. Like they were just all together.
Yeah, of course I cried. Of course I cried. I cried the whole time. I cried the whole
But then when she found the photo in Mr. Scheibel's like in the basement, like I love the show. I loved every episode. I loved it all, every single minute of the show. But the last episode was like, I haven't stopped thinking about it.
I think it's beautiful. I loved that. You know that I'm like a stickler for like things being realistic. Like I don't like anything that's like really over dramatized.
Yeah.
I believed all the characters.
Yes.
I thought that it really felt like somebody whose parents had died / abandoned them, somebody who had addiction problems. Like it wasn't over dramatized. I believed those relationships. And I know that had it been a true story, they probably would have obviously focused on this more. But instead of like spending the whole show talking about how she was the youngest female to do this, female, they didn't talk about it as much. And I liked that they made a show just about somebody succeeding and that her age was like a bigger deal instead of this 7-part series just harping on it being a woman. It was a person.
But I feel like they actually addressed it.
They addressed
like that interview, like when that woman came and interviewed her in her bedroom, I feel like that was like a common theme. So I love that you said that. Let me ask you this. This was this thing that had me on the edge of my seat. Were you ever wondering if her adopted mother was like going to be a villain? Like, was there a moment where you were like, oh my God, she's going to take all her money and she's going to be like a bad guy?
The adopted mom, yes, absolutely. I thought she was going to do something like greedy and terrible. And I liked it that it's more believable that the person kind of saw dollar signs, but then got into it.
Like she wasn't a great influence with the drinking and stuff, but like I think they had a real love and a real bond.
I loved it. I loved the way I thought it was a very realistic depiction of how somebody would be that grew up with no parents. It felt like everybody abandoned them, that everybody left them. And I thought that actress was phenomenal.
So good. Perfect actress to play that part. I was floored. I hope it wins all the awards.
And I want to just co-sign something you've been saying for years on the podcast. It's the first conversation you and I ever had when we were in Aruba together. We were in a car. I asked you what shows you like. You said Watch Younger. It was the first thing we ever talked about in Aruba when we met 3 years ago, like exactly 3 years ago. I finally got around to it. I watched the whole first season on Saturday, and I thought it was fantastic. So if you guys are looking for something really fun and bingeable, Hilary Duff is in it. It's a really, really great show about somebody who's 40. She's pretending to be 26. And it's great. Yeah. I loved it. I'm glad that you turned me on to it. It's on Hulu. So
yeah, you can watch it on Hulu. And I'm not going to review the show in full because because I wanted to, and I get too long-winded, and maybe I will at a later point. So all I'm going to say is I'm going to recommend it for now. We've tried to record this, and I can't stop. I get so passionate.
This is the third time, guys.
I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to recommend it, and I'm going to leave it. if you love younger, I think you will love The Bold Type. So there's a show called The Bold Type. You can watch it on Hulu. It was on like Freeform or something. Listen, I will say wholeheartedly, it is one of my favorite shows I have ever watched, ever. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to start reviewing it because I'll go too long. I'll start talking about everything I love about it and the character development and all the topics they cover. Well, I can't stop. It opens with them screaming. Okay, I got to stop. The Bold Type. You don't have to watch younger or know younger, but I just think they're similar. Like if that's the kind of shows you like, we talked about all these shows because we hated Emily in Paris, by the way. So The Bold Type, cannot recommend enough. 4 fucking seasons, so you can go for a long time.
The episodes are long. Younger episodes very short. Episodes of The Bold Types are long,
but Bold Types are closer to 40, so you have a little bit longer.
Yeah,
so many of these shows are like 20-minute episodes. 4 seasons. Which is such a treat to find a show you love, and there's so much of it to watch. Like, so I'm caught up now, but I've been watching it now for like almost like a month or two. It is one of my favorite shows I've ever seen. I love it so much. I laugh, I cry, I get turned on. Like it covers so much. And anyway, I gotta stop.
No, it's fine.
Because I'll go down this road.
You guys will like it. It's 3 girls. They work at a fashion magazine together, and it is really good. So.
And really, they cover a lot of like heavier stuff, but a lot of like sex and dating, and it's right on brand for us. Why am I doing this? I have to stop.
It's the 3rd time, guys. We've cut this twice from episodes.
I love the music. Okay.
Who's your favorite character?
I can't answer that in short. I can't answer that.
I'm just fucking with you. We can't do this.
Because they've all developed over time. Okay. Okay, the main thing is watching these girls grow up. Okay, I'm done.
You guys also I like Sutton.
I love Sutton, but I feel like I've watched Kat really grow up and find herself. But I love Jane too. Listen, I love them all, and also the editor of the magazine, Jacqueline Carla. Like it's a great show. Okay, so listen, guys, if you have not watched Younger, The Bold Type, Queen's Gambit, you have your work cut out for you. Don't waste your time in Emily in Paris if you haven't already. By the way, let me ask you this:
have I watched The Crown? No. I have a Wikipedia page. I can learn about the British aristocracy. I watched the 1st season, and I haven't watched the last one.
I don't watch The Crown. I don't watch a lot of things that I'm embarrassed about, but that I've never seen. So do you think there's 2 types of girls? Queen's Gambit and Emily in Paris? Do you think we can like... Ooh. I'm sure a lot of people like both.
There's probably some cross,
there's some cross-pollination.
Case Kenny from last week. He's an Emily in Paris girl.
Listen, Case Sunday night... before his episode went live last week, had the audacity to post how much he loved Emily in Paris. And I will tell you what, if we had a backup episode in the bank,
we would have held it for another week. Or we would have canceled it. We wouldn't have had you guys be able to see that Monday morning ever. I'm sure his Instagram got flooded.
And then people were like, oh, damn. Still, yeah, can't say enough bad things about it. Renewed for season 2.
Of course it was.
High Fidelity, was it? Don't get me started.
Who brought up High Fidelity to me? Oh, this guy that I had dinner with on last week.
He liked it?
He liked it a lot.
I love when guys love it.
He randomly brought it up. He was like, there's a show with Zoe Kravitz. It's so fantastic. I was like, you know that show?
Wasn't renewed for another season.
Spread my legs wide open for that shit. Oh, man.
Did you?
Saying that? No, I kind of had a crazy allergic reaction and had to go home.
Okay, guys, Rayna, hold her accountable. She needs to get her blood pressure figured out and her allergies.
Hold her accountable. I had an allergic reaction that rivaled anything that's ever happened to my body. I couldn't believe it. I was having orange wine and like natural wines, just like murky shit. I'm sure some of you like it. It's not for me. Full body just broke out in like red rash.
But is the point of natural wine to be less reactive, like less of a hangover?
I guess I need those chemicals, man. Okay.
You need those tannins. I don't know if that's
I don't know how wine works. I only worked in restaurants my whole life.
That was our first fight. What's about a wine?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you gotta get yourself together.
I do, but I work.
Get yourself checked out. Okay, one thing I'll talk about. I went on a date not too long ago that I haven't talked about yet. And probably now at this point, like it was like a week ago or a week and a half ago or whatever, like super COVID safe date. So literally coffee outside. And we actually like sat kind of far apart from each other. So like very like really wanted to like really be safe about it. So yeah, we was sober date, coffee, sat outside. And I just think it's funny how I met this guy. He did slide in the DMs. And he had DM'd me once before, like earlier he's from where I'm from. So he had DM'd me about something about being in Delaware during the spring. And I didn't ever see it. He slid in with a LASIK recommendation. So I asked for LASIK recommendations. I thought I was going to get at this one place, but I'm not, whatever. It's a long story. So I am still going to get LASIK. He slid in with his LASIK recommendation. And he was not the only guy that hit on me. I'm talking a total of 4 guys used my LASIK slide to hit on me and ask me out. And I'm wondering, is it because guys are like, I'm looking for a blind bitch so she can't see my bullshit? Some guy's like, that bitch can't see, I'm about to hit her up.
This is a new dating profile idea. I love this.
It was weird. And maybe it was like the timing of like,
You know what it is? I just think people like giving recommendations. I just think like, especially doctors, like it is the best. You're right. It's the best opening because people are just like, I live in this city too. Here's this thing I know about. I want to flex my skills, my knowledge. I know a good doctor. And it's even better than saying like, do you know a good bar? Because who the fuck doesn't know a good bar? You know what? I'm going to be out here asking, do you guys know a good electrician?
yeah.
You guys got a good plumber?
Maybe there's some hot electrician will slide in. No, this other guy that has asked me out before in my DMs, he slid in there and then like wouldn't really let up. He was like, remember, I want to take you out. I was like, okay. Like I didn't forget. And then some other guy came in. Like there was literally 4 dudes that were like trying to ask me out based off the LASIK recommendation slide. And this guy, I like what he did because he was like, told me his recommendation where he got LASIK, whatever, here in the, he lives here in the city. And then was like, also, I'd love to like show off my 20/20 vision and grab a drink with you sometime or whatever. And it was great. And then this was really cool. His Instagram profile is not a lot of photos of him. It's like just weird, funny stuff and like throwback. It's not a real, like, he's not like a guy that's posting pictures of himself, which is fine. He uses it more for like fun movie clips and shit like that. And he was like, also, I just realized my Instagram profile doesn't really have much on it of me, and sent me like screenshots of his Hinge. And I was like, that's perfect. Like, that's a perfect way to be like, here's what I look like.
I love
because
everything
we
you did.
all want to know what people look like.
I love it.
We hear this from our guy friends. Like a girl will kind of come in and she's private and they can't see her. And they're like, how am I supposed to, like, let's just be honest that we want to see what someone looks like. So I love that he sent his Hinge profile page.
He was ready to go.
He locked and loaded.
But I love this tip. I think we tell these stories so you can get a tip. I love this idea of just like putting something that people can, like an actionable thing. It's like, yeah, everyone's been to Florence. We all know you've been to Florence. You've hung out with elephants in Thailand, but
don't do that. By the way.
Some people,
they're abused.
not everybody is a good LASIK guy. LASIK.
Yeah.
Somebody who doesn't.
But I just like that he was like, owned the fact that he didn't have a lot of photos on his Instagram. Was like, I'm going to show her my dating app profile. And we had a like decent date. He looked better in person. I've had great luck recently in terms of like not being catfished and guys showing up looking exactly like they should or better. We had kind of a funny date because we were not drinking and it was just funny.
I'm proud of you. You really like committed to dating. You're like really dating.
I don't think,
I'm proud of you.
I think it's going to get weird. I think, I want to be safe, obviously. And there's still an opportunity to go meet somebody like outside. So I'm trying. I mean, as long as we can.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
And I think that it is going to get really cold and really miserable. So like now's the time to lock them down.
Try to lock somebody down.
I mean, it's amazing. Then they can't go anywhere for like a while. Like no one's going anywhere this winter. Okay. I want to tell you something that I committed to that I relapsed, and I just want to like be honest and hold myself accountable. I said that I was going to stop checking all of my exes and the people that they're dating and guys that I like and their ex-girlfriends. I said that I was going to stop doing that because I was doing like a lot on my Finsta, like a ton, and it was consuming a lot of time of my life, and I committed to stopping doing that, and that was great. And I have since relapsed, and I like really leaned back in, and I let myself do it for like 5 days. And
5 days?
Yeah, for like 5 days, a lot. I got really crazy with it. I was just like on the Finsta all day, every day, like everybody that they're dating, new girlfriends, ex-girlfriends, everything. And then I woke up one morning last Friday, and I made the commitment to stop doing it again. And I will say, like, I feel so much better. And this is like not a hot take, but I'm 9 days into my being back on the wagon. And I just feel like it's not like a hot take, but like when you stop looking at people's profiles, you just don't think about them ever again. They literally cease to exist in the world.
Because otherwise they're living in your head rent free.
100% all day.
You and I live in a lot of people's head rent free.
Love being there. Love to see it. But I just wanted to tell you guys. And then I just feel better. It's been 9 days. I haven't thought about any of these fucking people except for right now. I feel great.
Okay. I'm going to ask you something on the podcast. This is going to be real. This is a real friendship moment. You guys are hearing this. Do you want me to hold you accountable with this? Because I don't care. I have no room to talk. I stalk on my Finsta. I would never
like shame me for sending
I
you
would
something,
never shame
mean?
you. Like, unless I felt like it was really taking a toll on your mental health. And then I would like have a serious conversation with you. But you did send me something from one of these people.
Yep.
And so I knew you were back to doing it.
Yes.
And I just indulged you and I humored you because I don't care. And I think that you're fine. Would you prefer that I like hit you with
Yell
the
at
like
me?
Rayna?
No, and here's why.
Because I don't care. Live your truth.
No, and hear me out. First of all, I do feel like I am fine about all of the people that I'm talking about. Like, you know, the people I'm talking about, including that person. Like, I just feel like mentally great, especially like in the last few days. I just feel like whatever. I would only send you something in the extreme, and that was like extreme and embarrassing, and I just wanted to laugh at him.
Yeah.
No.
And also, like, I want to be like a safe place for you. Like, I don't want you
are.
to feel like Ashley's going to judge me because I don't give a fuck.
You are, but you bring up something that I think is important, which is like, there's nothing wrong with like your best friend. I mean, I'm not trying to hear this from a fucking stranger or somebody I sort of, but there is nothing wrong with your best friend saying to you, like, I feel like you're spending a lot of like brain space on this. And I just feel like you would feel better if you stopped.
Right.
And I think that there's like a nice way to say that. And like, I think that like I've been guilty. Like you sent me something once like a year and a half ago, and I like kind of made fun of you about it. And I like think about this every day of my life. And I feel bad, but like, so that's not the right route. But I like what you're saying, which is like, there's nothing wrong with saying to your friend, like, I love you. I think this is unhealthy for you. And I just think you'd feel better if you stopped doing this.
Yeah.
And so I don't need that. I don't feel like I'm unhealthy, but yeah, if I was, or if you thought that I was, I wouldn't hate it.
Because I had that thought when you sent me this thing. I was like, she's back on her bullshit.
Back to her old tricks. No, but I feel good. I had to send you that because it was an emergency. Yeah. I loved your question. Thank you for asking.
I had a lot of questions this intro.
I enjoyed it.
So you guys know that Ashley and I love to travel. We do it all the time, professionally and socially. And it is really, really important to me to have the best luggage possible, both functionally and just the way it looks. And Base is my absolute favorite. I have everything that they do. I have their check-in bags. I have their carry-on. I have their mini weekender, but I just got their newest bag. I am so obsessed. It's the East to West tote, and it is the absolute perfect bag for like a 1 to 3 day trip. And I just took it with me to Santa Barbara, and it was just perfect for like a few dinner outfits, a couple daytime stuff. I had a padded laptop sleeve, a place for a water bottle, zipper pockets, and there's like an extra removable strap. Also, I just think it's really beautiful. I got it in the beige color, but all of Base's stuff comes in lots of colors. It's highly functional. Outside of this bag, which I am crazy about, their luggage has 360-degree gliding wheels, a cushioned handle, which I love when I'm at the airport, built-in weight indicator, and I always say this, I love their washable bags. So a great travel hack is to just have like a laundry bag in your suitcase. They provide that for you too. It's so cute. Everything they do is super durable and beautiful and functional. I just can't say enough about Base. I love them. And right now, Base is offering our listeners 15% off your first purchase by visiting basetravel.com/GGE. That's BEIS travel.com/GGE.
Okay, thank you to Helix for supporting Girls Gotta Eat. Go to helixsleep.com/GGE, take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you to a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. Use code HelixPartner20 and you'll get 20% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows. You guys know how obsessed we are with Helix. Both of us have multiple Helix mattresses. It's all we sleep on. I have made sure that my parents have one, my brother has one, my boyfriend has one. I just refuse to go anywhere and not sleep on a Helix mattress. That is how obsessed we are. The Helix lineup offers 20 unique mattresses, including the award-winning Luxe Collection, which we love. We have the Luxe Collection mattresses, the newly released Helix Elite Collection, a mattress designed for big and tall sleepers, and even a mattress made just for kids. So for everyone in the family, and you're just going to take their quiz, which is really fun, and then they will give you your personalized mattress recommendation. It's going to be shipped straight to your door, free of charge. You can try it out for 100 nights to make sure you love it, and then there's a 10 to 15-year warranty to try out your new Helix mattress. We know everybody sleeps differently. You might sleep on your back, your side, roll around all night on your stomach, or you might want a soft, medium, or firm mattress. We are all so different. So that is why they offer really something for everyone. And so you're just going to order what works best for you, come straight to your door. You can sleep on it that night. You're going to love it. It will change your life. You'll get the best sleep of your life, and you can thank us later. So Helix is offering 20% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/GGE and use code HelixPartner20. This is their best offer with Helix. Better sleep starts now.
We have a really exciting guest in the house studio with us today. He is a stand-up comedian and an actor from New York City. He is the co-host of Oops podcast with another former guest of ours, Francis Ellis. He has the best stories of all time. He's so sweet, and he like sneak attacks you with something absolutely insane. Please welcome to the house studio with us and Dewey, Giulio Gallarotti.
Hey, good to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
It's been a long time coming. We're so excited.
I know, this is great. This is an honor.
Yeah.
Very dope.
So you're Francis's bestie. I'm kidding.
Like we are, essentially. It's funny. I mean, as you guys maybe know, it's like interesting to be good friends with the person who you podcast with, because you have to like decide what you want to talk about on the podcast for the first time. Do you guys do that?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's really nice. I always say it's like nice for us that we're not old friends. Her and I have been friends for 3 years, but there are so many stories we don't know about each other.
Same with you guys.
Exactly. Yeah.
We are telling each other new stories, which is fun.
Right.
So Francis and I sat down and talked for like hours one day before you guys started the podcast. And he was like, I'm starting with this guy, Giulio. He's just he said he's a beloved comedian. Like he was
So
like,
nice to
everybody
hear.
loves him. And I was like, I don't know him. Like it was just like, and so I didn't know anything about
I'll
you.
be the judge of that.
And then I just feel like you guys have, your friendship has developed on the podcast, which is the same as us. So what I love the most is that he does not know your stories and you just like shock him all the time.
And he goes, here we go.
And
Here we go.
And then Chris's laugh, who's your producer, who also does stuff with us, is
Ashley forwards me his laugh.
His laugh is
of
really
your
great.
video clips, because you guys do great clips. So if you guys aren't familiar, you should be listening to Oops, or at least watching the clips on social media.
Thank you. Yeah, we're pretty proud of it. And it's been a good time.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, we want to hear a little bit more about you. If you want to just give us like the once over, and then I have a little story about you that I want to tell people.
I love it.
Like tell us how you got started in comedy.
Oh, cool.
Who your famous friends are, all the things.
I mean, I've been doing it in New York for so long, like, over a decade. And, I started with that's how comedy works, as you guys know. You all start together and then you kind of see everybody take off and have great success. And it's no different with me. Like I've kind of seen all my friends find their different lanes and their different successes. And it's sort of funny too, because like some people will kind of get off to a head start and then other people will catch up. And then all of a sudden that guy's the guy who's in head. And it's a really odd thing. And it's one of those things where like, it gets better and better as you go, because at first it really fucking sucks because it's hard. And like, how do you make money? How do you figure out a way to do it? All your friends who don't do comedy doubt you, and they're talking shit about you. Like you start as the guy like, yo, G's so funny, dude. Like everyone calls me G. G's so funny. But then when I'm like, my job is being funny, they're like, oh, you think you're funny? Oh, okay, Mr. Funny Boy. Oh, like, what's your real job? You know what I mean? All of a sudden they decide that like, they're not okay with this newfound confidence.
Well, we always say, everything is fucking stupid until like, everything is brown sugar water until you invent Coca-Cola.
It's true. Like, but how do you become a thought? You have to post pictures oiled up to get to that.
Like that hoe over there?
Yeah. Like, how do you become a thought for your job?
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You can't, like, you have to oil up your ass and post it. And even if you're going to start only getting 10 likes and all your friends are going to make fun of you. And then one day you'll have 2 million and those same people will be like, oh, I knew her, bro. I know this girl.
That's so true.
It's so true. I remember when I started the food blog, my family couldn't fucking stand it. I remember we were brunch one day and my brother shoved his plate away and was like, how long are we going to have to do this for? And a year later, I took him on a free trip to the Ritz-Carlton in New Orleans. You just keep at it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
I hope you gave him chores on the trip too.
Right. I made him share
Hold
a
this
room
ring
with,
light.
Yeah.
Hold this fucking ring light, dude.
I made him share a room with me and his wife. So all three of us shared one room.
That's pretty great.
Okay. So yeah. So, and you, like, who'd you like come up with? Just like
Ashley's fishing.
I just
for a
want you
name.
to name drop a little.
Okay,
We're not going to get personal, but like,
No, it's totally cool. I mean, I'm trying to think of guys I like started with, like Ricky Velez, Mike Cannon, Pete Davidson,
ever heard of him?
Chris DiStefano.
Yeah. Our audience knows these people.
Yeah. And even like the people who were the generation ahead of me, like Andrew Schultz, like that's a guy who was like the best guy to have on your bar show. Like Hannibal Buress was the best guy to have on your bar show. And these people are all like huge stars. And like, I'm sure I'm leaving out plenty.
No, that's good. And half those guys we've had on the show, or people just know them in general. So I think it's so cool. Like you actually do like start a career with these people.
Totally.
So
they
it's
become
really
your
cool.
family.
You're,
Totally.
like, you're in a good group of people.
For
we
sure.
love all those people.
And we all ebb and flow, and like some years I'm closer with some of them than I am other years, and like certainly some of them are like I'm always really, really close to and always see. Like Ricky is like I always see Ricky, and like I actually introduced him to his wife. I married them.
Oh, that's right.
Like, so, it's nice. And then, other friends, comedy, as you guys know, like it's one of those things where it doesn't take much to maintain the friendship because you have such similar experiences and lifestyles that like if somebody's in town or if like one of my boys who's like famous hits me up to open for him, if I haven't like talked to him in a while, it's not like weird. You know what I mean? It's like, oh dude, yeah, sweet. Like, thank you. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a nice thing.
It is. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a nice family to be a part of.
For sure.
Especially when they get really famous and they're like, hey man, you want to come open up? And you're like,
Right.
yeah, but
You're like,
then
sure. Yeah.
you're not single, so you can't get pussy because of it.
That's true. But I was single for so long.
Okay,
like,
you got enough comedians.
my most of my 20s were single or in tumultuous relationships that didn't last more than a month at a time. Like the back and forth thing where like every day I'm waking up being like, how do I keep this person interested in me? Like that type of shit. I didn't have like an adult relationship until I was in my 30s. So like I was single for plenty and like I don't feel like I'm missing out now.
You did it. I love that though. I would rather find a guy who's like done that, who's fucked a bunch, who's dated a bunch, who's run around. I would. I want to meet somebody that feels like I did it, you know? And your girlfriend is great and we love her.
She's
we know we're going to talk all about her today. But I love being with a guy that like has done all the things.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about your relationship today. We're going to talk about how you guys got together, your long distance relationship. But I want to tell people a little story about how I knew it was real with you for our friendship. And it involves comedy and your girlfriend. But you were there, so you know what happened this night. But the three of us were at one of the worst events I've ever been to in my life last winter. And I was so uncomfortable. I hated it. I just felt like physically, just like I hated it. I just hated everybody there. I hated it.
It was a comedy show / birthday party. We're not going to say names. It was brutal. We've already made fun of it. We made fun of this guy one time already in the podcast. We
so
can't
funny.
keep dragging him, but it was not good.
I could keep dragging.
He started fighting the audience. It was incredible.
At his own birthday party that I was hosting. It's fine.
You want to go? You want to go? Literally from the stage. It was unbelievable. It was the most entertaining thing.
And let me just say that I had gotten laid the night before, so I was just chilling, and I was like, I was glowing. It was amazing, and I was just like, this is fine. And everybody was so aggro, and I was like, I don't know, but I just got laid like hours ago.
I actually did just ghost out of this night. Yesterday, I was like, I want to tell the story, and I was like, you weren't there. Where'd you go?
Left,
like,
I went to go masturbate to my fantasy from the night before.
You had that natural sex keratin running through your hair, just looking amazing.
Yeah.
She did. She ditched us.
Like,
but we were at the worst event of all time, and I hated it. Can't stress that enough. And then Ashley went home, and me, you, and Dylan Palladino, who's been on the show before too. The three of us got into a cab. We went to the stand. We met up with your girlfriend. We met up with Remy Casimir and her boyfriend, who have been on the show as well. And it was just this like nice night where like I felt like these people are like my home. You know, like these people are like my family. I felt like, you know, like we all have the same interests and hobbies, and I felt comfortable. And it was just leaving a situation where you feel so physically uncomfortable. You don't like the people you're with. They don't feel like home. And to like go to a place that feels like home with people that feel like home was so nice.
Totally.
And I was like, I knew that we were going to be friends like for a long time after
That's
that.
very sweet. That's very sweet. I had a great time too.
Good.
So, I mean, you're right. Sometimes you have those nights, and it's like, why when you do comedy, the hang is so important, because some nights you have these like great nights with people who are in your field. I didn't know you that well before. You've done my podcast, but like it was cool. It was cool to hang, and you know, here we are.
But that's so like when you know these aren't your people and then these are, you know what I mean? Like to go, that's like such a stark contrast of like being at this thing where it's like, God, these people are terrible. And then to go and just like hang, you know, with like down to earth people. But let's talk about your relationship.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long have you guys been together?
It's been 2 years.
Oh, okay.
And I joke with her, like, I'll be like, baby, we've almost been together for 3 years. Like it just became 2 years. And she's like, no, we haven't. I'm
Wait till like
He's like, but doesn't it feel like it?
Yeah.
like it feels like 10.
Yeah, literally.
Well, we're excited to talk about this because you told me a story about how playing hard to get is not the right word. She just like did her own thing and you fell in love with her. So we're going to unpack it.
Yeah, totally. Let's do it. So first of all, I think it's important to note a couple things. First of all, we got in a fight on our first date.
Okay.
Like an argument, which was so interesting. She was just like asking questions and I started to get defensive.
It sounds like it was your fault. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, it was Wednesday. Like we were drinking. It was weird. And then like at the end of the night, I wanted to like end the night with a kiss. I'm like, you should end the night with a kiss. So I kind of like, imagine her standing here. I leaned in to kiss her and she just like didn't move or kiss me back. She kind of got kissed. It was as if I was kissing a wax figure of my girlfriend, of my now girlfriend. And then leading up to it, I had thought that I had been really running game on her. Like I slid into the DMs.
Even throughout the fight, you're like, I'm killing it.
Yeah, I kind of thought, and yeah, like throughout the whole time, it was pretty.
Fight on a date. Like I remember arguing with this guy who about like that he was trying to say that New York didn't have the best pizza, but like as in like the best pizza I'd ever had was in like Fresno or some shit. Right. And I was like, I like went to go to the bathroom to calm myself down. Anyway, I was just like, I'm fighting on a date.
Hilarious.
Okay,
Yeah.
keep going.
No, it's I feel you.
Fight? Oh, how did you slide into her DMs? That's how you met her?
I met her by sliding into her DMs. I had known of her and like, this is so, all right. So the first time that I like met her, my friend left his jacket at his friend's girlfriend's apartment. He's like, let's go get it. And I knew this girl. So we're sitting and Hillary was her roommate. So she comes out of the bedroom and I don't know what came over me. I am not this guy at all, but she walks by and I go, you're hot.
Also, I had the honor of you guys telling me this story together at dinner one night.
We felt really self-conscious after. We're like, did we just like talk about ourselves for too long? Like, yeah, now here we are together. Like,
well, I asked.
Yeah, I know.
Hillary was like, fine, I'll tell you. And like the your hot thing is very funny to me.
I went, good for you. And then like,
go off, girl.
She apparently went in the other room and was like, who the fuck is that? And when I walked out of the apartment, my friend was like, dude, that was sick. And I like didn't even look at him. I was like, I know, bro. I like thought it was so sick. Like, I don't know what the fuck came over me. Like,
I killed it.
I thought I killed it. It was so embarrassing. So then
I just picture this guy like sitting back with a beer. He's like, you're hot.
In your own home. He's in your home. Yeah. You walk out of your bedroom and a stranger's like, you're hot.
It's so embarrassing.
Honestly, I'd probably fuck you.
Be like, yeah. You want to come back here with me or do you have a condom?
No. No, you wouldn't.
True.
So that happened. And then I thought that was so sick, whatever. But then like she had a boyfriend apparently, whatever. So I didn't, get involved. But then I started like commenting on her roommate's shit, being like, tell your roommate to call me, like whatever, just kind of like fucking around. I didn't even know that got back to her. Apparently it did, whatever. Fast forward, I slide in the DMs when I find out she's single. That same friend like sent me a story that she was in. He's like, dude, here she is. And I just got immediately triggered. And I slid in the DMs doing like the surfer guy, like sliding in the DM.
Like that emoji?
Yes.
Julie, I was trying to understand why you were single in your 20s.
Okay, honestly, I have not seen the surfer. I like the guy. It's like the slide in and the guy's like, it's the dog emoji and he's like, "Oop, how'd he get loose?" And it's like I've seen that meme of like somebody like the dog off the leash and they're like, "Oop, sorry, my dog got loose. Anyway, here I am." Like
that's hilarious.
But I have not heard of a surfer slide in. I'm dead.
Yeah, I did the surfer, and I literally said,
Julia sat back and was like, "Killed it."
I was like, "Dude, I'm killing it. Like this girl's not."
You're like, "Yeah, man."
I know, it's so insane. So then,
Probably masturbating right now.
I slide in the DMs with the slide in the DM emoji, and she like didn't know anything about me, but the kid who she knew, who was my friend, is like a New York City kid, and he had a bunch of friends who are New York City kids who are younger than me, and who like a few of them are like rich kids. So she just like thought I was some rich kid. So literally, I messaged her being like, "What are you doing tomorrow? You want to go to the Natural History Museum with me?" Like she didn't know that I was like a comedian, that like I come from like a normal background. She didn't. So she just thought I was some rich kid who like had all the time in the world. And she just replies, "I have a job," and I was like, "Oh yeah," like. And I don't know why I asked this. The picture that my friend had sent me of her was of her in the Hamptons. Okay. And I was going to be in the Hamptons Memorial Day.
Part.
Yeah, Memorial Day weekend. So then I messaged her, "What are you doing Labor Day weekend? You going to be in the Hamps?" I said, "The Hamps."
At this time, do you still think you're running good game?
I think I'm crushing it. And I think that's an important lesson. Like thinking you're killing it is so important. Yeah. Because like if I didn't think I was killing it, I would have like not had been confident enough to keep going on.
Yeah. Like that's like big dick energy.
Also, like white man confidence.
It's funny because she also just still at this point thinks, "Are you this rich kid?" And then you said Hamps, and she's like, "Fuck this guy."
I'm just like burying myself deeper and deeper.
Okay.
So eventually I get invited to her apartment party, not by her.
Obviously.
By the other person.
I make sure to message her saying, "I'm coming to your party." It's seen, and she doesn't respond to that. Seen, no response. And I was like, okay, better roll my sleeves up, playing hard to get. It was like really bad.
It should be said that before we started recording, I was like, so she was like playing games and like, you're like, no. She like really felt like that.
Yeah.
She wasn't trying to play hard.
Yeah.
She was just like, I'm
living her life.
not into this.
She was just kind of like repulsed. But whatever. So she's a nice person. I think she was like, the fact that I kept trying, she was like willing to entertain me at least.
Okay.
So I get to her party. She kind of sits on the couch and there's an open space in the couch. She's kind of like, this is essentially his chance to come sit down and talk to me and get to know me. So I sit down next to her and we start talking, and immediately I start digging myself deeper in a fucking hole because she starts talking about Ariana Grande. And I had just hung out with Ariana Grande. So now I start name dropping.
Oh, God.
And she was just like, ew. I was like, oh yeah, like I just met Ariana Grande. Like, I just chill with her. Like, here's a picture of us together. Like,
You pull out your picture. Okay.
Yes. It's so, and the picture's like, I'll show you
She's
guys
like,
the picture.
thank you, next.
Hey, literally, she's literally, thank you. Yeah. Essentially. So at this point, like, I'm just such a tool. Like, I'm really, but I end up getting her number.
Okay.
And
You do sound like a rich kid. You've hung out with Ariana Grande and you're in the Hamps.
yeah, I mean, it's
But also at the end of the day, Pete
Right.
Davidson is the guy from Staten Island. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't
exactly,
a rich kid.
exactly.
Yeah.
And she didn't. I don't think she knew that connection. And at this, I honestly wasn't even really chilling with Pete that much. Like I happened to be.
It was just you and Ariana.
I happened to be at a thing that he was at with her.
Yeah.
And she happened to be. We were at a dinner, and she sat next to me at the dinner because they
still
just set it
awesome.
up that way. I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
So anyway, so now I just seem like this tool. I get her number. She leaves to go to some party. I'm like, I'm in a good spot. I text her. She doesn't respond. Now I start getting drunk, and I'm chilling with my friend and his girlfriend's like younger. So apparently I was like complaining about it, and she used what I think is like such a young girl word. When we reflected back on that night, she goes, "You were being really conceited." I just think conceited is like the first big word a teenager learns. Like I haven't said conceited or heard it since I was in high school.
So true. It's like this
conceited.
big word for a young kid.
Yes. So she doesn't,
Like adults say arrogant, but okay,
Yeah,
go off.
it's arrogant. It's not. Yeah, 'cause it's the wrong word.
It's a word.
it's the wrong word.
God, I hate to vocabulary shame, but
I know.
It is the wrong word.
It's the wrong word.
Needy, I think, is what she was digging for.
Totally. There's a lot more.
actually, right. Totally. Yeah, not even the right word at all.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. I don't know why I was so confident and thought that she should be so interested in me. It was actually crazy now that I think about it in retrospect.
Maybe delusional was a good word.
Maybe delusional is a good word. I'm not like some dick, you know what I mean? I just thought
Julia,
that.
we don't come across like that at all.
Julia, when I met you, I was like, "Is he single? You're so cute." The day I met you, absolutely.
No, I was like, how
That's
dare
really
you,
sweet.
Francis, start a podcast with a guy with a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to be out here for me. I'm helping you. You help me. Francis has nobody for me.
I know.
He's always like, you're so wonderful. And I'm like,
Find me a person.
yes. I'm out here asking our agent to hook me up.
That's hilarious. Francis has so many wonderful non-comedy guy friends.
I know
More
he
so
does.
than any other
He
comedian.
really
He also
does. They
has,
all have
like,
girlfriends.
His friends are great. That's
He
true.
also
They're
has a
all-
lot of like conceited Harvard friends. I'm kidding.
I'll take them too.
I wanted to use the word. Okay.
But the day I met you, I walked into Francis's apartment. And I just texted Ashley. I was like, "Is Julia single?" Or okay. Anyways, okay.
So sweet. Okay, so now we start texting though, and we have a good banter back and forth. It's like pretty good, whatever. We're talking, all this interesting shit's happening. Like Ricky's child is being born. Like there's just like a lot of interesting talking points. And I end up being like, "Let's go on a date Wednesday," and she goes, "Okay." So we go on this date, and the date goes okay. I force the kiss. And then I just like stay on her and I start pounding her with like persistence. But
Not with your penis.
no,
All consensual, guys.
yeah, all consensual figurative pounding occurring.
Okay, so anyways, you kiss her. She walks in her building, and she's gone.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
And I actually planned the date down the street from her apartment just in case it went really well.
Right.
And it ended up
Which
in her bed.
all guys do.
Hot
that.
take. Yeah, they all do that.
We all do that. I don't even know if she knows that.
I
I'm
plan them
sorry.
near my apartment so I can leave sooner.
That's smart. but I also want it
right.
to be convenient.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and guys have been mostly like, we live in the East Village, so when I match with a guy, he's like, "Hey, let's go out in the East Village because it's like a cool place to go." Like if a guy was like, "Can you come up to the Upper West?" I'd be like, "Absolutely not, Trevor." Like, you know, nope. Anyway, okay.
Right. So another thing then, so then we end up hanging out again that weekend. Things start to change and to turn in my favor. I think we get to know each other a little better. Things start going well. And the second time we hang out, it was kind of impromptu. Like I was walking around downtown. I was like, "Hey, you want to meet up and go for drinks at this dive bar or whatever?" And I sort of invite her to come over. And I'm like, "I'm going to invite you over. I just want you to know that if you say no, it's okay. Like you don't need to feel pressure to come over, but like I'd love for you to come and we'll do whatever you're comfortable with." She ended up declining.
She's like, I'm comfortable not coming.
Yeah, but it was still good. Like things were progressing nicely.
Yeah.
And then as things continued to progress, it was funny because my impulse is to be like this crazy, like confess my love to you right away thing. And like when people let me do that, it just burns out. You know what I mean? When people allow me to do that, it burns. Like there have been times where like I met a girl and then like I like brought her to a comedy show and then in front of everybody, like the day I met her, started like calling her out and being like, you know, I just know that I really like her. Like this crazy shit.
What do you
You're
think
like
that
romantic,
But
right?
what do you think that is? That I mean, I could diagnose you if you'd like me to. But what do you think it is that like somebody? It's interesting because like most guys would say like I don't like when women start doing that, but you're saying I don't like when they let me get like that. What do you think that is?
It's not that I
They make
don't
too
like
easy?
it. It's not that I don't like it. It's that somehow that like where do you go from there? You have to build up to romance.
Too much too fast.
It's too much too fast. Where is there to build romance on that? When I'm coming out of the gate doing the most romantic, crazy, and maybe some of it's like me wanting to like do something so big and so grand because I think I need to for some reason. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever. But like, I'm crazy. Like I have girls' names tattooed on me. Like I get tattoos of girls. Like it's, you know, to the point where my current girlfriend was like, do not get my name tattooed on you because I'm not like those other girls.
Yeah.
So my tattoo of her is just, she drew this. She just drew a heart and I just got it on me.
So you still do have one.
I still have, yes, correct.
I think you're just like a, you know, really like passionate, like big personality person. Like you just live your life in like a big way, in a good way.
Right. Yeah. And like, sure, maybe I'm like a little spontaneous and like, I think this is one of the reasons why Francis and I are complement each other well, because Francis is like very grounded. He has a good, like, his home is so like immaculate, and like you go over there, he'll make you espresso martinis out of his espresso machine, and like I'm like not as much like that. I'd like to be, I strive to be, but it's not there yet for me.
Okay, so I love gift giving at this time of year, but when finding great gifts, things can really start to add up. And that's why this season I am shopping with Quince. Quince is the go-to place for luxury essentials at affordable prices for everyone on my list, including myself. We'd like to thank Quince for supporting our show. Go to quince.com/GGE to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your order. So I'm really, really glad I found this company and this site. Everything is so affordable, but looks really luxury. So as you're perusing it, they have 100% Mongolian cashmere sweaters. They have washable silk tops and dresses. They have cotton sweaters and all kinds of comfy stuff, like just cozy pants that you can wear. I love the colors. I love the styles, but the prices are really the reason to shop here, on top of obviously the selection. Prices are 50 to 80% less than similar brands. So it's unbelievable. It partners directly with top factories to cut out the cost of the middleman, and it just passes the savings directly on to you from Quince. And I just love what they're doing. I love the styles. There's so much variety, and it is such a one-stop shop, whether you're shopping for kids, you're a significant other, your parents, anybody will really love this. You can get affordable luxury for everyone on your list with Quince. Go to quince.com/GGE to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your order. That's QUINCE.com/GGE for free shipping and 365-day returns. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp Therapy Online. For 10% off your first month, go to betterhelp.com/GGE. So we all carry around different stressors, big and small, throughout life. And when we keep them bottled up, it can start to affect us really negatively. And therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and figure out how to work through whatever is weighing you down. And sometimes we can have journals and self-talk and friends and family that help us, but it is really, really helpful to talk to a therapist outside of that, and they can empower you to be a better version of yourself and set boundaries and work through whatever is going on with you personally, professionally, in your love life, with friends. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. So you'll just fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists anytime at no additional charge. I absolutely love what they're doing, and they make it so, so simple. Get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/GGE today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/GGE.
As our relationship built, there were so many of these funny moments like this where like I asked her to be my girlfriend. She started laughing in my face. And her friend went, Hillary, that's not, she was like, "Do you hear that?" Like, because it was really early, and then she goes, "Chill." She was like, "Just chill." Like, and I was like, "Okay." I was like, "You know what?" And then
Did she ever talk to you about like what that was? I mean, I know, like, all jokes aside, like her just sort of like playing hard to get, whatever. Did she ever say to you like, "I just don't warm up to people super quickly," or "I was purposely doing that"? Did you guys ever like talk about that?
yeah, I think it's just her style. And I think that that's why things are so easy for us because, I mean, knock on wood, you know, hopefully they continue to be. But that works for me, you know, in a way that I didn't realize would. Like, she is deliberate and takes her time. And, like, she's not just going to, like, give me everything, show me everything about herself right away. You know, it took months to, like, find out certain things or, like, find out certain tendencies. And it just put me on her schedule, which like ended up working for me.
She paced it.
She paced it.
I mean, which is, you know, a lot of times women like tend to like just let the guy kind of pace it. And like, this reminds me of a relationship I was in where he liked me so much. So at the beginning, I was unsure about him for various reasons. And I acted like this, but not because I was playing games or playing hard to get. It was like genuinely, I just was unsure. And I remember this time he like tried to like cuddle me in a cab. And I was like, whoa, please back up. Like all these things, he would bring them up when we got serious of like, geez, you were so like such a bitch in a kidding way. But he was like, you really made me work for it. And it was like, I wasn't trying. I just like didn't know yet.
Right.
It's just a natural way of being. It has nothing to do with her being like, now I'm going to leave him on red. Like it was just her living her life.
Totally.
Yeah. I think I have suffered from this and I've worked on it. It's something I truly have to work on. Like I always say, like I'm too available. I let people get too comfortable too quickly.
Right.
And I think that it's not sexy. Some people will find it sexy. The right person will eventually find it sexy.
Yes.
But I do let people get a little too comfortable too quickly. And I realize that that's a flaw and it can kind of put you in the friend zone a little bit, or it can make somebody lose interest. And I think that people should live their life and be authentic to themselves. And I think if something feels good, you should do it. And I would never say there's like one size fits all for relationships, but I think at least what she did was that she paced it out and she was authentic to herself, and that's good. And she like let the relationship build, and there's something great to be said about that.
Totally. And I think that is a good point. The idea of like being authentic to yourself, because you can get swept away in someone else's way.
Yes.
And that is dangerous because then who are you?
Right.
You're not a thing anymore. You're just them.
Yeah.
You're just becoming them.
We talked about that last week where we said, you know, you can only like keep that up for so long and only pretend to be a certain way for so long. I mean, you're going to have to be you at some point. So it wouldn't be authentic to me to be like your girlfriend and probably like spend months sort of like keeping somebody at bay a little bit. But I envy being a little bit more like that.
But she also like you were persistent. Like we say this too, like, cause I think about my ex when I was like that. And had he just been like, she's not that into me after date one, we never would have dated. It was him like still pursuing and kind of like we jokingly say wear you down, you know, like I was like, I do fucking like him now, I guess, you know, he isn't exactly who I thought he was at first. Same as you, like she kind of misread you at first too.
And also I allowed her to go at her own pace. Like I said, I love you to her like early and she wasn't ready. And I said that, I was like, listen, I don't want you to feel bad. I was like, take your time. Like it's cool. Like whatever. But like, this is how I feel.
Like tomorrow or...
Right. So like,
but like
she said a couple months later.
Take 2 weeks or, 2 days.
But yeah, I mean, I think she's a lovely person. I really just don't really have any complaints. We don't argue that often.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to talk about like you guys being apart, because what I love about your relationship is that you both seem very independent. You were not together throughout the quarantine. You aren't spending the holidays together. Like, you know, you went on this crazy road trip, and I think you tell us, I think you met up with her towards the end or whatever.
Yeah.
But I love that you live your life in that way and not according to other people. Like I think sometimes people see couples that aren't together at a time when they think a couple should be together, and they're like, "Ooh, that must not be going well." And it was fine. Like you guys were apart for what, 3-4 months?
Yeah, for like over 2 months.
Yeah.
I forget exactly how much, but it was a long ass time.
But I was curious, like when you told me that you were going on that trip, I was like, "You guys still together?" You're like, "Oh, we're very much together." So I think that we don't talk a lot about long distance relationships, but like it'd be interesting to see like how you guys like keep it going,
and also just make those decisions that like, if you're going to do this thing with your family for the holiday, I'm doing this thing with mine. You don't have to be together every second. That's not the sign of a healthy relationship necessarily.
Absolutely. I think and she's like very grounded and reasonable when it comes to that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like she understands like, yeah, we both want to be with our families for the holidays. Like it's okay to be apart. You know what I mean? We don't live together. We probably, I'm sure, hopefully we will eventually, but like, we don't for now. It's fine. And the road trip thing, like I have like a travel bug. Like I need to be traveling a lot and like going on crazy trips. Like I went on that 2-week road trip by myself. I plan to continue to do shit like that. In fact, last week we got in a fight because I went to the Dominican Republic and forgot to tell her.
What? Julio?
I know, that was my fault.
What are you talking about? You told me, Julio.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, but it came up in conversation.
No, I know. You didn't like tell. Yeah.
It just didn't come up.
I thought I told her.
She's like, I'm on my way over with coffee. You're like, oh, I'm in the Dominican. I told Rayna and Ashley though.
So this is what happened. I was complaining because my parents were giving me shit because like they say it's not safe in the Dominican Republic, which is bullshit in my opinion. But to, like, if you're not on the resort, I was going to Santo Domingo to be in the city and to like go around by myself. My parents were like nervous to like, and I was like all frustrated. She's like, what's wrong? I was like, my parents are giving me shit. She's like, for what? I was like, oh, about going to the Dominican Republic next week. She goes, you're going to the Dominican Republic next week? I was like, yeah, I told you. She's like, no, you didn't. Because I said, I want to go to the Dominican Republic next week, but I didn't say I booked a flight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's completely right on that. But whatever, she knows that about me. And like, you know, she knows that these things are so important to me and that it in no way affects how I feel about her in any way.
100%.
In fact, quite the opposite. Like, we want to be able to let each other do what we want to do in our lives. And like, we're equal. Like, we talk about each other's work equally. Like, just because I feel like a lot of comedian relationships, they get all the attention and the other person who isn't the comedian, like the comedian doesn't care about their life. It's like kind of weird. I've noticed that. It's not like that with us. Like, I am very engaged in her life. I know all about her work. I try to like speak the language. And I think that like these things and that comfort also that comes along with that allows us to have a little bit of distance and to not like feel insecure about it. At least I don't.
Well, and I think it's a recipe
think she
for a
does either.
long-lasting, healthy relationship. Like
hope so, yeah.
that just that alone of like you being like, I want to take this trip solo. So many people, not just women, would be like, oh my gosh, something's wrong in the relationship. This isn't how it's supposed to be. Like, we all just need to kind of reframe our minds when it comes to this stuff.
I love this idea and like what you said about like just being authentic to yourself and not prescribing to everybody's ideas of what like a healthy quote unquote relationship is. And Ashley talked a few weeks ago on the podcast about how she doesn't necessarily want to live with anybody ever. And we got so many messages, an onslaught of messages of women like thanking us, or thanking Ashley, not thanking me because I'm the opposite. I'm like, you have to do me always, but like thanking her for like being honest and saying like, this is not my truth and this is not what I want. I think some people would listen to your story and be like, they don't live together, they travel alone. There's no way this is a healthy relationship, you know? And it's like, but that is what it works for us. And we've been together for years and we love each other, you know?
Totally. It's so like, I have my location shared with her. I didn't even realize it. And Francis like didn't believe me. He's like, dude, there's no way she doesn't check. There's no fucking way she knew.
Who
and
cares?
We actually asked her on the podcast and I shared my podcast or my location with her when I went on that road trip by myself. Just quick refresher for everybody who doesn't know this. I drove across the country by myself for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
So she was like, you know, she wanted to know where I was just in case, but like, it's not that kind of relationship. And because of that, like, it just allows, because this is another really important thing, living in the city and being around so many people and meeting so many people, like, you need to allow room for each other to grow, because if you don't, it's just never going to work. And like, I don't know. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. Like all of this is what it is. Like, and hopefully if one person doesn't stifle the other, you grow together. Right. You know, people also grow in different directions and they break up, and that's fine too.
You can't be scared of that.
Yeah. But I mean, the right match, the right pair, that's the point.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to love that person's growth, because some people get scared. So they think they see growth in some way with their partner and they think like, this person's going to do too much of this and then leave me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, they might.
Right.
What are you going to do about it?
Right. And by thinking that way, you manifest it too.
Yes, you manifest it and you
push them.
Then you get controlling and, you know, it's just.
You become a shell of yourself.
Yeah.
You become the person like, where were you? You like, you know, you don't want to be that person.
Yeah, we talked about that a few weeks ago on the podcast also about like trying to control your partner. And like the reality is people are going to do what they want to do and they're going to lie to you if they feel like it. If somebody wants to be duplicitous, they will find a way to do that if they want to cheat on you. And there's no amount of like going through somebody's phone and telling them like you're not allowed to do this that will stop them from doing it.
Right.
And so I love that you guys like allow each other to do that. And Ashley and I have a lot of guy friends that have girlfriends that we hang out with. You and I went out for a drink recently by ourselves without Hillary. We talked about her the whole time. Like it's not weird. And I think it's cool that it's cool with her and that she knows where you are. And it's like, you're not going to stop somebody from cheating on you by yelling at them and trying to control them. You know?
And I'm difficult. And like, and there's a few reasons. Like, you know, I was single for a really long time. You know what I mean? Like I have some fucking baggage, not baggage, but like some dirt. You know what I mean? Like I've dated people. I've like done stuff. And also, like, I stay friends with all my ex-girlfriends, and some of them are like big personalities and like difficult people. And like, there's been a couple that I've had to like cut it with because they like violated my trust a little bit. We don't need to go there. But for the most part, I very much care about my ex-girlfriends. I talk to them, I text them, like, and we're friends, and it's friend zone, and like, she understands and gets it. But like, I don't cross the line. Hillary is the queen. I fully respect her. If she has a problem with something, I'm more than happy to talk through it. I'm not going to just like dismiss her. You know what I mean? There's open communication.
We talk about those guys, Ashley and I do, that like will hang out with you and like, you know, they have a girlfriend, not doing anything inappropriate, but they just kind of like don't talk about the girlfriend.
Right,
they
right.
act as though they're single.
appear to be single.
Yes,
Right.
and they just don't bring it up. You know that they have a girlfriend, they just don't bring it up. And I've never felt that way about you.
Yeah,
and
no, definitely not.
like we just talk about it. It's not a weird thing. Like you use the word we a lot, and like that's a
Interesting.
normal, healthy thing to me.
Cool. Yeah. And I also think that like a lot of people in entertainment, they're like afraid of like catching their stride and be able to bang whoever they want, but like being locked up in some relationship. It's the stupidest illusion ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and the people kind of tie in the relationship and being locked down with this loss of freedom. So if your partner
Right.
doesn't make you feel like you lost your freedom, then you're having the best of everything.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, yeah, go off.
Absolutely. And I think,
We got to talk about being friends with exes. What the fuck, Julie? You're friends with all your exes.
besides one. Yeah.
Do you see them?
Like, yeah. Like if I go to LA, I'll call my ex-girlfriend and meet up with her.
Define ex though, because actually now I always say like you have exes and you have like the ex. So like
Okay.
how serious of an ex?
Okay, so there's like 1, 2, 3. There's like 4 exes that I have that, you know, I'm and there's a fifth one who I attempted to remain friends with, and it became impossible.
Okay.
But everybody leading up to her, my high school girlfriend, I'm still friends with. She's a baby, like whatever.
All right,
That's
so
like not
that's
canon.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like define the exes.
Then I had an ex that I dated on and off for 4 or 5 years. We're still very good friends. We wish each other happy birthday. We'll say nice things to each other. And like we have these like unique memories and these unique experiences that are special to us. It doesn't mean that it's like inappropriate that I have this special friendship and bond with this person. So, and it's a bit of a brutal process because I have been in these situations in the past where I'm like, we're together, we're broken up, and that's like part of the process of getting to the point where I fully close the door and I don't see that person like that ever again. And like, I feel very confident with that. And it's definitely a thing that maybe doesn't necessarily make sense, but I think that it does. Like I think she gets it now. And like, it's not a big deal. I'm not like calling them all the time and stuff, but like I'll text them. I'll see what's going on. I'll like check in on
Well,
them.
the thing is, you're honest about it. You're not, you know what I mean? It's like the fact that you're talking about it on a podcast is like, I have nothing to hide.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
really don't. I'm
Would
sure
you have a problem with her talking to her exes?
Absolutely not.
Does she talk to her exes?
I'm not sure. But I hold her ex in very high regard. Like, I don't know him.
Because he gave her to you.
Not even that, you know, no, but like he dated her, like they dated, they loved each other. Like they were, like they were important to each other. He took care of her. He cared about her. Like he protected her. Like that's important to me. Like I hold him in very high regard. Like I if I met him, like I would give him the utmost respect. And like, if he didn't want to talk to me, I would understand. But like, I actually tell her, I was like, I'd love to meet him. I think he, you know,
I love that. I mean, and I have an ex that I can't be friends with, but like my dream is one day we'll be friends. Cause like you really you have, like you said, these memories with this person. Like, and that's why I don't throw away photos. And I think it's weird. We've had this debate before and we can dive deeper at a different point when a current partner wants you to like erase your memories. It's like, these are my memories. Like, no, they're not framed photos everywhere, but like I didn't delete them. Yeah. Like that was a part of my life. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of love there. Why would I just like burn our scrapbook? You know what I mean?
Totally. I fully agree with that. I would not be willing to delete pictures and stuff.
Yeah. I'm not like jerking off to them.
Of course. Yeah.
But yeah. So
no, but that person was my home for quite some time. But I want to go back and just wrap up because you guys have like been apart for so long. So do you have any like tips for people that have like been away from their ex or maybe been away from their significant other or doing long distance for like, I don't know how to like keep it spicy or exciting or stay in touch?
Yeah.
Do you have like good tips for that?
So and actually one of the tips I learned from Ashley. Oh, I think when you were on our podcast remotely,
very
when the
beginning
pandemic
of quarantine,
started. Which I'll get to in a second. But I'm like my dad. My dad does this to my mom, but I call my girlfriend all fucking day long. I call her all day. To the point where she's like, yes, and I have like an update. I feel like a little boy that's like, mommy, a hawk. There's a hawk in front of me. And she said, that's very nice, sweetie. It's like,
Oh my God.
because I was like doing a bunch of hiking at the beginning of quarantine, and she was still working.
Yeah.
So like I'd be calling her.
Okay, so hearing somebody's voice.
So calling all the time, keeping up, like, of course that's important. But also we started to get to a point where we would go on a date. Like when we was 2-3 months in or however long, like we start on Fridays, we'd like have a drink together. And that was your recommendation.
Yeah.
We'd sit and on a Zoom call and we'd drink wine and we'd talk and like, I'd like try to look good and shit. You know what I mean?
Yes, like get your shit together,
Yeah.
look nice. Not you, but I went on one date and the guy looked like he rolled out of a dumpster. Like I did my makeup.
Oh, I know you're talking.
Yes, like I was like, I was eating dinner with my parents. My mom was like, are you going to put makeup on? I'm like, yeah, of course. And I was like, he was wearing like, he literally looked like he just rolled out of the gutter. I'm like, I am wearing an outfit.
During quarantine, actually to relearn how to do makeup.
I have
for this Zoom call.
Like, I have a ring light out. Like,
That's
what are you
amazing.
doing? You look like garbage. So yes, like
funny.
the effort and like it's so brilliant what we can do with Zoom and whatnot. You can have dinner. Like the other night I was cooking dinner. I was on a Zoom call with a bunch of friends. And I sat and had dinner. I mean, I muted myself, but so I wasn't rude. But I was like, I'm having dinner with my friends, kind of.
Somebody asked me the other day, they were like, you still do Zoom? I was like, I love it. Why not? Why? I don't do it every day, but like, I love to sit around and have a drink with my family who like, I've seen my brother once in a year, you know, because of COVID. So like, I love to have dinner with him and his wife over Zoom as much as I can.
Totally.
Yeah. It's like FaceTime. Okay. So you guys just like communicated a bunch.
Yeah. And one other thing that I think is really important, and this pertains to that, but as well, just in general, I think it's really important to like not take the most important people in your life for granted. You know what I mean? Like I still like try to, as much as possible, treat her as if it's like the way I would have treated her early on. You know what I mean? Because it's like important. Like it should be special. It should be fun. It should be romantic. Like I'm planning what I'm going to get her for the holidays already. Like, and when I go over there, I like try to be clean and like, I'm not gross. And like, I want to try to like maintain that like courting phase to keep everything interesting.
Yeah.
And it really works, I think.
We always say
It's
never
100%
stop
works.
dating.
It's like proven.
Yeah.
So
Who wants to feel like your partner takes you for granted and doesn't get dressed and like doesn't give a shit where they throw their crap? It's like, you really care so little about me. You didn't even
Christmas
bother.
present Christmas Eve, like my ex did. I was like, I need the gift receipt for that because he bought me it for something I don't even need. And I was like, December 24th. Okay.
Didn't even know stuff was open that day.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Oh, did he go to CVS?
Yeah, I'm surprised he wasn't like, I'll return it.
Or no. I didn't.
We talked about that and how to keep your relationship alive like 2 weeks ago on our show. Also, it's just you gotta always remind your partner that like your dick still gets hard for them.
Yes, absolutely.
Julie's like, or call them 16 times a day.
Yeah, that too.
Also, like, I mean, you made the joke of like, mommy, I saw a hawk, but like, I'm sure also you call her all the time and you tell me she probably still seems happy to hear from you the 16th time in a day. Like, because I think validating your partner is like so important too. And like recognizing them and like not like eye rolling them. Like, I think we always say how you kind of like pick up the phone and how you greet somebody in the morning with a morning text or whatever, like always acting like you're happy to hear from your partner.
Totally.
Even if you have called them 5
No,
times
definitely.
a day.
And we humor each other. Like she's obsessed with looking at apartments.
Yes, you humor them. Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about that, but like she wants to show me, I'll look. You know what I mean? She knows that I don't care. I'll still look. I'm obsessed with these like travel YouTube channels and I'll talk about it and she will roll her eyes, but also still listen to me.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
in a way that's like, she respects what I am interested in.
Yes.
Well, what a treat to have a partner also that like literally doesn't care about any of your hobbies, but at least tries. Like that's what we all want.
That's good.
Okay. So you have amazing stories.
Thank you. Thank you.
I picked a few.
Okay, cool.
They're
Great.
so funny. I don't know these stories.
You know what? Thank you for picking some because literally last night I was talking to Hillary and I was like, what good stories do I have? Because a lot of the time, like if I tell a quote good story, like I didn't even realize it was a good story until after and people are like, that was a good story. I'm like, oh.
You are so like, what is the word? Like unassuming or like you come out of nowhere with these stories. And I've talked about this with Francis because they're insane. Okay. So this one, I love and it's topical. It's about how you got an ex back.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I had this ex who sort of like savagely broke up with me, just like in cold blood was like, hey, I don't like you anymore. Like, which, you know, that's a reason to completely move on forever. But I was heartbroken and I had a friend. So my friend's daughter is how I met this girl. So my friend is older than me,
older guy, okay.
and this girl's younger than me, but it wasn't like crazy. She was like at college age, whatever. So like young, but whatever. So I was like really heartbroken, and he felt really bad for me seeing how heartbroken I was. And he goes, "It's not right what she did to you." He goes, "This is what we're gonna do. We're going to." He goes, "We're going."
American.
He goes, "We're gonna make up a story." That you found this new girlfriend. She's beautiful. She's just incredible. He goes, think if there's a girl. And I thought I had a comedy show. I had met this girl who's a model and she was going to South Africa. And I like got her email or something. I don't think she ever replied to me. I emailed her. I was like, hey, I want to go on a date. And she like never hit me back. But she was moving to South Africa. And he goes, perfect. He goes, no one will be able to corroborate the story. And this is long enough ago that like, I don't think Instagram had even started
Right, like
yet.
less ways to stalk
Must
in the
have been
first
2010
place.
or something. Yeah.
Okay.
So he goes, this is what we're going to do. He goes, I'm going to tell my daughter that you're dating this girl. She's so hot, this new girl, whatever. Like I'm paraphrasing. But
Dad's in on it. Okay.
yeah, so he said, I'm going to tell her, and then she's going to tell someone, and then she's going to tell someone, and eventually it's going to get back to her that you're dating this smoking hot model. And he's like, and watch how quickly she messages you. So we did exactly that.
What
and
if my dad fuckboyed me? I would be so mad.
I know, right?
Wait for it.
Savage. So she starts, so it ends up getting back around to her and she ends up hitting me up because of that. And we end up dating again for like 3 more years.
3 years.
But there's 2 really nice things about this story that are hilarious. So this girl's name was Cody Cabral.
The model.
The model. I believe she's now married. But 7 years later, I ran into her at a casting.
That's right.
And I walked up to her and I was like, Cody, right? She was like, yeah. I was like, we met a long time ago. I was like, but you're going to love this story. I told her, she said, that's fucking nuts. Then we made a clip of it for my podcast. We posted it. My ex-girlfriend replies going, ha ha ha, ... Wait, is this about me?
Oh my God. You never told her it was a lie?
No.
Oh my God.
But she goes, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard. Thank you.
she was
loved
cool?
it. She loved it. I mean, it was so many years later.
We've got to hone in on
The
this.
villain in his story is the dad. My fucking dad did that to me. Okay, what if my dad did that to me like via you?
Also, we have got to talk about that you didn't just like hook up another time. You dated for 3 more years. Giulio, I can't get past that. She broke up with you and then this thing made her date you for 3 more years. Did you change to keep her around for 3 years? I can't, can you get, I mean, this is crazy, right?
This is a good question. So this girl, she had just started college and she was going to art school. She was going to RISD. And she was changing so much that enough time went by that when we revisited, like she had matured a ton. And now she was like, she actually completely changed up her look. She like fully embraced the art school thing where before she was kind of like New York City girl.
Okay.
And like her family is like was like high profile sort of. So like she already was kind of like in the fast lane to begin with. It was really hard to keep her attention.
Okay.
So then she was at college. We were long distance. I would go visit. I was the guy visiting college, which was so lame. I was like, oh, Wu-Tang? Oh, yeah.
Did you go
Love
to college?
Wu-Tang. You guys need me to pick up some beer? That was clearly
I love
doomed.
that guy though.
Yeah, that guy was cool at the
old
time.
Guy that could
old
buy
guy?
us
Yes.
alcohol.
I was the old guy. Did I go to college?
We called
Yes,
them
I
old
did.
heads in Pittsburgh. Old heads.
I had already graduated though.
Okay, you were out of college.
I had already
Where'd you go to
graduated.
college?
Boston University.
Okay.
You did?
But it's just too funny. I mean, it was just a crazy, so many different interesting twists.
It's so it's doesn't seem real. The story doesn't seem real. And it's like this older man that was like steering the ship. Like, I just love it so much. Okay. So we're talking about older people. Now tell us about when you dated your friend's mom.
Okay. So I went on a date with my friend's mom.
Okay. Also, the crazy part is like a girlfriend's mom.
Yes.
Which actually is probably better, right? Because like, I feel like your guy friend wouldn't want to be like, dude, you want to fuck my mom? Like, it's, yeah.
Totally.
Okay.
So it started out as a joke. I'd be like, your mom's so hot, your mom's so hot. She's like, Jules, like, Papa Jules. Like, she was like, this girl was younger at the time. So it would have been weird if I was even dating her. But like her mom, I was like, your mom's hot, your mom's hot. And I was like 20.
The girl's younger than you? Like your friend? Okay.
I must have been 22, 23.
Okay.
The mom must have been 38 or 40 or something.
Okay.
And I was like, I want to take your mom on a date. And she was like, okay. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah. I was like, can I have her number? And we had all gone to this lunch together, like my friend's parents. And so I texted her. I was like, hey, would you want to go out with me?
You're confident. She's 40 and you're 23.
We went to Barbunia. You know Barbunia? It's in like 26th and Park or something.
That's like a really nice place for like a young kid to take someone.
Yeah, and it's funny. I asked my like Italian friend who like lived here because he like knew the city better than me at the time. I was like, where should I go? He goes, I always like to take first date to Barbunia. It's a good place. I was like, okay, cool. Like, Barbunia it is.
Okay, it's on Park Avenue. It's really beautiful, but it's a lot of like little mezes, so it's food that's good to share, and you're eating with your hands. It's sexy.
Okay, good
Yes,
date place.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of drinks. I think she like had a drink. We're talking, we're doing this and that. And I just like never cracked her open. Like she was never that interested. And it was actually the worst performance that I've ever had on a first date, not to like be anticlimactic with it.
Were you nervous because she was just like in a very different stage of life than you, or that didn't faze you?
I wasn't that phased by that. I mean, I was nervous because like, I don't know, she was this like older hot lady and like, you know, I wanted to like make her like me and whatever. I don't know if she kind of got me all wrong. Like I was like a tennis teacher at the time. I don't know if her mom thought that I was like some like NYC legacy kid or something. Like, cause that was sort of how she first met me. I was at a lunch with all these like NYC people, like in that whole world. So I don't know if that was a more appealing person to her than what I ended up being, which is like the tennis pro.
Which is the craziest part to me, and I told you this before, is that I would think a woman who's going to date or hook up with a guy half her age who's also friends with her daughter, the point is that he's like a hot tennis instructor. Like the point is not that he's going to be your sugar daddy. He's like 20.
And I don't know if that's what you wanted, but yes, 100%.
But it's funny because when you told the story, whenever I saw you tell it, you were like, you weren't like successful enough for her. And I'm like, that's insane. Like the whole, the fantasy is that you are like younger, not that you're going to take care of her as like a 20 something.
And there's a really strong chance, who knows, maybe she just didn't like me. Maybe she's like, oh, this guy's too much of a boy or some shit. Like who knows? But she made it very clear because she lived like 4 blocks away from me from where I was staying.
Oh, okay.
So when we got in the cab, she made it very clear that we were making 2 stops.
Okay.
We hugged, no first date kiss. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If I'm 40 and I'm going out with a 23-year-old, it's only for one reason. It's not for your conversation skills, and you're definitely coming over. So I don't know what she expected.
Yeah, you must have like really turned her off at some point. No, I mean, no offense, but
no, it's fine.
I would that would be like you're coming up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I'm gonna get something out of this.
I mean, you know, I must have fucked up. I mean, I would love to hear what she would have to say about it. I'm sure we would have a good laugh. But a few years later, and when the daughter and I both were a little older, we ended up going out a few times. Which is pretty funny.
I wish you would have fucked both of them. I'm dying to know who's better.
Did you just sleep with her though, the daughter?
The daughter and I dated, sort of. We didn't like date, but like...
Did you go to family dinners?
Things went better with, let's just leave it at with the things went better with the daughter than they were.
Did you have to
read
like,
between the lines?
No, it never turned into I hung out with her family or anything.
That would have been crazy.
It would have been
Can
great.
you imagine like going to Christmas dinner, you've dated the mom and the daughter?
I know.
I can't imagine. I mean, my mom has been married for 40 years, so I can't even like really wrap my head around it. But to date a guy
if you and your
my
mom dated the same dude,
It's too crazy. Yeah,
it's so crazy.
I got to be honest. Like I don't remember how I felt then. I didn't start journaling yet at that age. I feel like this is why journaling is so important because
you journal.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, you can remember how you felt.
Yes.
And that's so valuable. You forget that. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I wish I could go back and see if the reason, I mean, the daughter's beautiful and like a lovely person and whatever, and she's funny, she's great. But I wonder if there was part of me that was like, oh, this is sick. Like I went out with her mom, now I'm going out with her. Like I'm sure that had to have played into it.
For sure. Well, thank you for sharing these stories, Giulio. Should we move on?
Yeah. So, okay. You have like really great insights. I've really enjoyed like talking to you about like relationships and dating. So we design games for everybody that comes on the show. Cool. We polled our listeners. We're going to do manalyzing with you today, where people submitted questions about male behavior, and you're going to mansplain this and manalyze with us.
Okay, cool.
All right, let's go.
Okay. My first question, bush or no bush?
Ooh.
I was excited about this one.
Oh, wow. Okay. Can I answer it like not in one word?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah.
The point is to talk about.
Okay. So the answer is bush, but both.
Okay.
Bush but both.
Bush
okay.
but both.
Bush but
Sounds
both.
like it's like
my
Bush.
new band name.
Are we talking about presidents or
Bush but both? That's what he ran on. Bush but both. Me and my dad. No, but I think that like, you know, when people ask what's your favorite food, the correct answer is a variety of my favorite foods.
Okay.
That's the correct answer to that question for anyone. So I think the same way with bush or no bush, they're both wonderful, but I think that I lean towards bush, but both are wonderful. And I like them both.
right?
And
Also, no guys like I don't do that. Like
Absolutely.
It's any guy that says like they only prefer one. It's like that's a fucking loser of a dude. Like you know, like it's
Mix it up, dude.
right.
Yeah.
Also, it depends on who the carrier of the bush is. I don't have a great bush. I don't rock a bush that much. Okay. I can't grow like a rockin' bush. So like, I don't rock it a lot, but like, I also like don't always shave. And like, I've never had a guy be like, nope, not doing that. Like I have to like punch guys in the face to get them out of there.
Oh,
This a friend of ours, I'm not going to say who, but he did like show me a nude that he had received from this girl, and she had an amazing bush.
Yeah?
Like, I mean, I always say I have like this big old bush, but like little did I know, people are out here with like puffier, fluffier, better bushes.
I'm jealous of puffy fluffy. If I could do puffy fluffy, I'd rock a bush.
Was it a full puffy fluffy? Like, was there any manicuring done?
I mean, I don't know. They have a funny relationship, I guess. And she had told him that she actually did have to landscape a little before. So I think she must have it all. She must just be a hairier person.
Got
so
it.
I guess she had shaved the sides. But what was left? So when he told me that story, I was like laughing that this girl had to like groom before sending these nudes. Also, for the record, it was just a body shot. I couldn't see her face. I don't know who this girl is. But anyway, so the bush was perfect. It looked like it was 70s porn bush.
And honestly, there's different tiers of bush as well. Like there's kind of like the kempt one. There's the one that's like shaved from the bottom but goes on the top. But then there's just like the straight up 1970s Nevada desert nuclear explosion bush that looks like a mushroom cloud. And that is like...
by the way, it's Nevada. I'm kidding.
Oh, fuck.
It was during the election. It became a thing of like, how do we say
Nevada?
But then
embarrassing.
an ex... No, I'm totally kidding. I didn't know either. An ex of mine really just liked right out of the waxing salon full Brazilian. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he didn't mind when I had a bush. No guy's ever minded.
Right.
Okay, so speaking of nudes...
I'm so excited you're going to ask this. Okay.
Why? God, who is this guy? Why does my man respond cool after I sent him a nude?
Okay, let me qualify this because we did an episode about sexting and like sexy pics, and a lot of girls were like, people are like, cool, bro. Like guys that like have no idea what to say to you when you send one. So like, why does that happen?
Like, I think there's a way to kind of communicate enthusiasm, at least. And like, I wonder if he's like, send me a picture of you doing this, and then she does it, and then he says, cool. That's one thing.
We just say
unsolicited nude.
Bare minimum, like heart eyes, water droplets emoji, like just something that shows a girl you are appreciating what she's pointing out there. Than like, sick, dude.
No, like,
do you think they're just so uncomfortable? They're like, I have no idea what to say to this. I want it. I like it.
Maybe. I think that the texting medium allows you to not be uncomfortable. You can gather yourself. Like, what I would say to that, if I received a hot nude from somebody who I really liked, I'd be like, need that soon, or I'm Ubering to a bridge and jumping off of it.
Right. Or like, I wish you were here. Like, it's so...
Yeah. I need you.
The
whatever.
bar is so low.
Right. I need you. Like, I need that. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool is just like, fuck.
Yeah.
That dude has, I mean, I don't know what the deal is with those two, but
Looking
that's
good, friend.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
Nice.
Like, I saw this girl tweet. She was like, I sent a nude. He wrote back, looking good, friend. I'll never forget it.
Looking good, friend. Yeah. Like one syllable words. Like, what are you doing? Like, dope.
Okay. I feel like I've like sort of been here before, and I feel like I understand why. Okay. Why do men say they've never had a blowjob to completion, but they insist on fucking you when they're close? So like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait, okay.
You want me to unpack? So like,
can you respond?
Yeah.
Can you explain?
A guy's like, Ashley's like, I would never.
What is a blowjob again?
So guys, like, there are guys that'll tell you they can't finish from a blowjob, but like this girl's basically saying, oh yeah. But I understand it. It's hard to have somebody else like masturbate you when you're fucking a person. You have control over speed, over like the intensity of it.
I haven't heard that a lot.
Ashley's like, no one's ever told me that they couldn't finish because I finished them all.
No, I didn't know that was a thing. Like, I can't come from a blowjob.
Oh, I've had a couple guys tell me that before.
Okay.
I mean,
all right, keep going.
Guys, I don't want to downplay my BJ skills. They weren't telling me like while it was happening. Just they've mentioned it in passing. Why am I doing this? Basically, they were saying like, that like a guy was like close, but then he stops and fucks her. And my theory on this is like, it's hard to control like rhythm and pace of another person. And when you're fucking, you can control the rhythm and the pace.
Yeah, totally. I think there's two questions there. I think it's like, why is that such a common narrative among men saying that they cannot finish during a blowjob? And why then, when they're about to, do they want to have sex instead? And I think that the answer to the latter is that sex is the fucking real thing. It's the major leagues. You know what I mean? Like the blowjobs, AAA, and you want to like finish in the promised land. Like you don't want to, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So that makes sense to me there.
Me too.
And I think what you just said too, as far as like the logistics of a blowjob. But I also think there's this like guilt involved as the man, where like you just feel bad if like you see someone working hard and it's like not going anywhere. You get in your own head and it makes it even harder. Like it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I don't know.
And it is, I mean, I love guys going down on me. Like I'll let anybody do it, like off the streets. I don't care. But like, I would say maybe half of the guys who have gone down on me have given me an orgasm. And I feel like that's being generous. Like it's a real skill. And a lot of guys are not good at it. And I mean, we all know that moment where you know it's not going to happen. And for me, like I got to call him up.
Right.
But I'm like so tall, I have to like yell down there, you know.
Can I? Hey!
Ashley said the courier
I have
pigeon
to
down
pass
there.
the note. I'm like, you're done here. Come on up.
I mean, everybody's body is totally different. I come like really fast, but like there's nothing worse.
oral sex?
I come really fast from it, but there's nothing worse than bad oral sex. It is so unpleasant for me. Like when I just like can't get into it and somebody is just like, I mean, it sounds gross, but somebody's just like spitting all over your clit. Like I don't want that. It's gross. I'd rather you just like come up here and like just get inside of me and let's do this. Like it's uncomfortable.
I'm painting that picture of just like, yeah, like that's so bad. Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and I've had some guys that were great at it, but you know,
Can I counter question? Now this is like making me curious.
Yeah.
So when you're saying like when you call them up, you're like, all right, pal, like let's. Is there ever? Because I've felt in like at times in my life where there have been times where it seems as if the girl is enjoying it, and like the tight, like the kind of like tightening up that appears like I'm making progress begins to happen, and then they're like, okay, stop, come.
Yeah. So first of all, sometimes I'm just pretending because I just want it to stop and I just want to have sex. I know I'll enjoy that more. But the other thing is once I have an orgasm, sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
So like, I don't want to come because then I got to like lay there and like have a full blown sex session with you. And I'm just sort of like, listen, I'm all for like long sex sessions. I can come multiple times. Like sometimes you just want to like get off and like be done with it for the day. And it's like, if I have to get off and then I have to fuck you, I'm like, God damn it.
Well, I think, and you guys know me, like, you know, eat me on leave is my vibe. That's the Ashley. That's the Ashley Hasseltine special. But I hate to say this. I masturbate a lot with a vibrator, and it's just like it's so much more powerful on your clit. And so of course it's sexy that a guy's down there that you like, that's going down on you. So that's sexy mentally.
Human heat.
It's hard to like to get that sensation with a person down there. Right. So I think, I hate to say it, but I think, and this is just how I feel personally, like me and maybe some women can relate, have kind of fucked ourselves with the like use of the vibrator on your clit. So you know me, I don't really go down there with like my hand. Like I'm just kind of used to this like thing with a battery. So if I were in a relationship, I would probably want them to maybe incorporate a toy or two when they're going down to me. So that's kind of what it is for me. I'm like, he's doing great. There's not much wrong with what's going on there. He knows what he's doing, but like, I'm just so much used to so much more intensity. So like just come on up and let me like jump on top, you know?
But the blowjob thing is very similar to me, at least, where it's like that person's hand knows exactly like the rhythm and the pressure that they need to come. And so like just having a mouth on your dick isn't going to necessarily make you come. So I see it the same exact way.
I just think that like,
I know what you mean by a vibrator.
If you're good at giving blowjobs, like I feel like the average guy can come. Yeah. But
I don't know. I would agree that it's not my preferred method of, you know, finishing the job, but you know, it doesn't mean it can't be done.
I love this conversation, guys.
Me too. I gave a great blowjob this summer. Ashley's like, that's all you guys did. I was like, literally was like the most fun blowjob I've ever given.
You got to enjoy it.
I really had so much fun. He had a great time too.
That's great. Like, that was sick for both of us.
Well, Julia, thanks for analyzing.
Yeah, my pleasure.
These were really fun. These questions. Really fun. I love these. Usually we're just like, we ask questions, the answer is like, he doesn't like you.
We're trying to branch out.
You were so great. I'm sure people are going to want to find you. So tell them where they can find your podcast, your Instagram, anything else that you're working on.
Yeah. Oops, the podcast. I do it with Francis, who I know is a friend of your guys' podcast as well. Francis Ellis. Check that out. Oops, the podcast. I'm at Not Julio on Instagram. And I think that's pretty much it.
What day is the podcast out? You guys do a couple days a week, right?
Tuesday and Thursday it comes out.
Okay.
Yeah, so
lots
check it out.
of good guests on there that have
Yep.
been on our show. Ashley and I have been on the show.
Ashley and Rayna have been on both a couple times. So yeah, I would definitely appreciate if you check that out. So thank you. And thank you guys for having me.
Of course.
dope.
Yeah. And you guys know where to find us. girlsgottaeatpodcast.com. Get merch and tickets to our virtual live show on December 13th at Girls Gotta Eat Podcast on Instagram, Ash Hess, Rayna.Greenberg on Instagram, girls_gotta eat on Twitter, and youtube.com/girls gotta eat. We'll see you next week.
Have a good week, guys.
Bye.